Hi everybody, it's Lace, and this video isn't going to cover tips and tricks or anything like that. It's going to focus on the Aerie Fund and the Trevor Project. Now, the Aerie Fund, some of you may or may not know, came into existence from a guy named Iron Maiden who needed some chemo, and he wanted to just sell all his stuff off in bulk, one price, sell everything he owned in the game. And it was like 25K worth of stuff at least, if not more, depending on how you value certain things. And instead of trying to find one buyer for everything, which would be a little difficult, a guy named Thextor Markham took it upon himself to say, hey, let's see how we can sell this off in pieces to get you your 25K or possibly more and see what we can do. Now, what ended up happening is he went ahead and funded a nonprofit organization. I can't remember the exact form. It's like a 502c or something, whatever it is. You know, I'm not an IRS person. I'm a programmer. I'm not an IRS guy. And anyway, to set up a nonprofit. And then by your donations, which at the time was 25 was like for a cloak and this and that, and 100 got you into a private auction and different things to where you got to buy the stuff he was selling. That is how the Aerie Fund was born. It's progressed since then. They actually now have a board of directors. I don't know anything more than what I've read on the forums and read on their website. So let's go to their website right now before we get back to the Trevor Project and why every event that we're having from Prism and in Diamond Fields has the Trevor Project in it. So let me go over and flip over to a website page real quick, and I'll go over that. So we're just at the basic page of aeriefund.org, and you can see what they're a little bit about. It's good work through gaming. And, we can go through the mission statement and stuff, and this is spotlight and ours, just one life. And again, that's kind of going to tie into the Trevor Project. I want to get into more details about that, but the reason it's called Just One Life is it's an LGBTQ teen suicide prevention. So if we can just save one life, we've succeeded. It's kind of going out of the focus of what the whole Aerie Fund is, and while this month is going to focus on the Trevor Project, they're going to be doing other things, and this is actually the first time they're doing something different than the Iron Maiden one, and they're working in conjunction with the developers from Portalarium, and that's why you'll have the cloaks and stuff. So again, let's look at their mission statement. And it's in avatars. It's gonna load a little bit. Oh, heroes wanted. Okay, here's what it's all about. Catastrophic events. This isn't. I can't make my rent this month. Um, it's not like that. It's catastrophic events. So think about that. They're gonna vet that, and then they're going to try to use the monies that are raised from the various charity things, which are going like a 50-50 split, to not only help avatars, but then also support a charity. And so that's basically what it is. So when you see a charity event going on, it not 100% is going to the charity, 50% is going into reserve for, let's call it discretionary use for individual avatars and Shroud of the Avatar and stuff. And here's some more things and how you can apply if you're in catastrophic need and things like this. Again, this is all legal through the IRS and stuff. Nobody's pocketing money. There's a board of directors, there's oversight, there's all this. They work with Portalarium to do this, and basically you can present, let's say, a charity that you'd like to have you know a fundraising drive for, and you'll work with the Aerie Fund. And again, we're the first ones kind of doing this, so I may not explain it very well because I'm kind of learning as I'm going. But basically, we will try to provide events, focus awareness, and drive people to donating to this. And 50-50 goes into the Avatars Relief Fund, and 50% goes into the actual charity. That 50% in the Avatars Fund is what this is for, is catastrophic events that people have, kind of like the Iron Maiden. And if you need assistance, here's how to go donate. You can look at the donate directly to them, or you can support an active campaign. And this month right now is our active campaign. We only have $552 of 15,000, But we know that everybody's really broke after the last telethon. But again, 15,000 would be so awesome because that's 15,000 means 7,500 to Trevor Project, and then 7,500 Aerie Fund that's going to help other people and stuff. And you can click on the links and stuff to get more information about the Trevor Project. You can go and vet them and see that they're not a top heavy to where the directors and stuff are sucking in all the money and the charity doesn't get anything. Some people have actually commented that on some of the initial posts on the forum. They do a pretty good job of not overpaying their staff so that most of the money does go to the Trevor Project. And again, the Trevor Project is, while June is Gay Pride Month, and hey, I'm a big old lesbian, so why not have this one as the June charity drive and stuff. But beyond that, just suicide in general has affected a lot of us. I've gotten a lot of folks from the community since this was first announced talk to me about friends and stuff, LGBTQ, friends and stuff that committed suicide. I can speak personally that they weren't youth. My good friend Peggy committed suicide, and this was about, I guess it's been about 6-7 months ago now. She was in her 40s. She just completed her master's, had a girlfriend, had a great home, had a successful life, and just one day did it. Just sick of carrying on. And I'm probably going to get a little choked up. Might have to cut the feet out because she wasn't the first one that I've lost. And while this focuses on youth, um, suicide affects a lot of us in a lot of different ways. And yeah, so while this may focus on one group and one charity organization that tries to help them out, there's a lot of folks that go through hard times and just can't see their way through the light. So the idea of just one life, if you could just save one life, that's what it's all about. I'm gonna take a break here and compose myself and stuff and get back to the meat of this. So continuing on after I've composed my little emotional self, again, the active fundraising campaign is this. When this was first posted, there was pushback from the community going, well, what about these suicides? And what about those suicides? And what about this and that and the other? Hey, if you want to focus on a specific group and you find a worthy charity, you can approach the Aerie Fund with any charity that you want. We're the first ones, so we're absolutely the guinea pigs, and we're going to have the hardest time in getting folks to adopt this, and especially after a telethon. So hopefully, for me talking about it in the video, not only just you reading posts going, hey, give us money, hey, give us money, maybe you can come to understand it. And, there might be a worthy cause that you see later. Maybe this one isn't the one for you and stuff like that. And that's okay. And maybe you're broke, and that's okay. There's going to be other charities that you can donate to and stuff. Part of what the Aerie Fund does, though, is by your donations, is there's prizes. You shouldn't think of charity as getting a prize, but you will here because we're working with, well, not we, because I'm not part of them, but they're working with the devs at Portalarium. So we've designed a cloak, just like there was an Iron Maiden cloak. There's a cloak designed. If you donate $25 to the Trevor Fund, the Trevor Project / Aerie Fund, this campaign, you will get a cloak. Let me pause out for 1 second. I can bring up, it's not a perfect artistic version of it, but give me 1 second and I'll bring up the cloak. Here it is. Again, this isn't, this is a Photoshop version, but it's red with silver, a black fur collar, and then the silver and black emblem, which is the standard emblem from all the Portalarium events, whether it's SodaCon East or West or whatever. They're just going to have different colors and different things. This is the one for the Trevor Project. Please note that the cloaks, the Just One Life cloaks, aren't going to be available until release 43. I know some people are pledging now and going, hey, where's my cloak? Well, we have to get them from the devs, and then we'll work on schedules. Not only will the folks from the Aerie Fund do it, but they'll present a list. I will have some. We'll work different hours and times and stuff to make sure that everybody that's supposed to get one will get one, and stuff. So you can read that on the forums. Also, depending on your price or your donation level, there are posters that they've done up. And this artwork, I believe, was done by Trina. There was an artwork contest that went on a few weeks ago, and we only had one submission, surprisingly, but it was a pretty good one. And that is the one that's being put on the t-shirts and stuff. So there's a poster, there's a t-shirt, and here we go. Here's this. So $25 is a cloak, kind of like we showed there. $50 you get the cloak and then the poster. 100 you get the cloak, the poster, and the t-shirt, which we've kind of poster, t-shirt. And then this one is kind of special. This is the one that I put in there and kind of created especially for this. It's $250. It's very expensive, but what it means is you get the cloak, the poster, the t-shirt, and private tutoring event. Now, what that private tutoring event means is that you guys know that once a month for at least 2 hours, I host in Diamond Fields a mentoring event for crafters. And I do this spontaneously too, but you've got to lug all your mats, all your resources, all your fuels, all your stuff to me because I'm sponsoring the event. I'm not coming to you. If you donate $250 to this charity, I am going to schedule a time on your schedule where I'm going to come to you where all your stuff is, and you can invite 6 more friends because, party of 8, right? So that's me, you, and 6 friends. If you don't want to invite 6 others, that's fine if you want it all to yourself. But for $250, so think about it, that's basically 7 of you guys can go in for $250. You'll get me for at least 2 hours at your location mentoring you. I'm not going to say I will do longer than 2 for the 250, but it's quite possible. You'll just have to see, depending on what time you ask me to go. Remember, I do have to work and earn a living too. So during the work week, I would have to pretty much hold to a hard 2. But if we can work something out on the weekend and stuff, if you donate $250, you and 6 other friends with you, I will come to you. You won't have to tote your materials, and I will sit there and mentor you. I'll basically probably be surfing the internet while I do this because I won't have my materials there and stuff to do any crafting. But that's what the 250 is, and that's what private tutoring event means. It's not exactly explained here, but that's what it is. That's me, who's GMing and everything in crafting. I'm your, well, I was gonna say you're my slave, but I guess I'm your mentor and you're my little tutor. And yeah, for a couple hours, you get me at your location, at your time, and stuff. So that's what that is. And that's where we're at with this. So just to focus again on why the Trevor project's important to me. Um, I guess I could say I came out kind of late, but I had a very good friend who came out very early. He was actually my best friend when I was 15. He and I became friends at around age 13. We did everything together. I didn't understand why Dale could spend the night with him and I couldn't because he was my best friend. And at 15, he kind of told me he was gay. And I didn't, whatever, okay, fine. And when his stepdad used to beat him up, he would run to my parents, and my parents would call his parents and say, he's spending the night here, blah, blah, blah. He would have been one of the perfect people that would have been an at risk youth for LGBT suicide. I don't think he ever had those, but I think he was of a specific character to not. That doesn't mean that everybody had a secondary support system like he had with my parents. Some people only have their parents. Some people don't even have parents and things like this. So these are some of the services that your contributions help. crisis intervention, not only, a phone line, but, hey, it's the 21st century, right? So we've got chat, we've got text, um, and then they've got to train people to be able to talk to people and stuff. And that's what's going to cost the most money. It's not so much being able to talk to somebody that costs that much. It's training people to be able to handle it and not, and to succeed, to save that one life. And these are the things these are the programs that your contributions will help, fund and stuff. I almost feel like I'm like Jerry Lewis here, doing the telethon. I don't know how many of y'all remember those muscular dystrophy things. I can remember I would just save up and I might have $3, but I'd give it to them because the message was good. I'm probably not as good, near as good a speaker as Jerry Lewis, and I certainly can call on Dean Martin or do comedic voices, but I can show you the programs that that your money helps. Some of you may be, anti-gay and you think it's horrible and an abomination, and that's okay. That's your opinion. That's your, who you are, and that's okay. And you should probably have just turned the video off quite a long time ago. For those that aren't like that, again, these are the things that your donations help fund. And I'm kind of scrolling through them. And again, you can go to Trevor. Oh, I don't have it up there, but it's trevorproject.org. For this specific charity, if you want to give just to this specific charity, you can. If you want to go to aeriefund.org to get the cloak and the t-shirt and all those other things, you'll need to go through the Aerie Fund for that. And if you don't want to donate to the Trevor Fund, you want to donate to the Aerie Fund, you can do that. So you have all these choices. And again, I know I'm just asking for money and stuff like this. But again, we're the first ones to do this, and I'm not sure I'm approaching it the correct way. All I can do is show you what your money is going to, and who you can help, and it's your call if you want to do that. And secondly, hey, you get a few cool things. I don't want you to just donate money to get a few cool things that are unique. Um, I'd rather you, be empowered and understand what your money is going to. And that's kind of part of the purposes of this video and showing the different things. Um, some of these items, this is what Trevor Project's doing. Some of these things, again, they get a little political and you may agree or disagree, but it's not like they're funding this. They're just, somebody's written a letter or talked to a congressman or something like that. When you look at these things here, like opposition of American Health Care Act and things like that. Um, so don't think of them as a political right wing kind of thing or left wing kind of thing or anything like that. Um, they're just looking out for the youth. To go back to the actual forum post, you can see it's in general discussion started by Thexador Markham, June 2nd. And it's a Just One Life community cause. Happens to be the same exact thing that I was standing in front of, with just a little screenshot of Diamond Field's crafting area for the Trevor Project. And again, you can watch some of the videos with Thexador talking. Also, we've got events again every week of this month, and sometimes in between. Let's see, I can probably go to general forums. Let's see, real quick, we can navigate this together. Early access community events, most of them are going to be listed here in R42. We've already done a couple of them. We've already had the fishing derby, and that was we had some AR radio playing fishing songs the whole time. On 610, we had the boat emote, which was basically a community meet and greet, and we had some brand new players that just happened to come out to this event and get to meet some new players and stuff. We're going to have our Grandmaster Crafting event on 617, and then on, let's see, let me find it, 624. This is, hey, Game of Thrones is coming back, guys. And last year when Game of Thrones was coming on, we had the bear and the Maiden Fair event. This time it's going to be focused on the Trevor project, but I've posted some videos from how that event went to give you ideas on how to prepare for that event. Also, the Wednesday preceding that, which would be, let's see, 24, 23, 22, 21, the 21st, it's not listed up here as an individual event, but I believe that Sparhawks happy hour, the 21st, will be in Diamond Fields at the top of the golf course area, and that's where the happy hour will be on that week. And then the final event, three time groups, and I'm going to click into this. For the Trevor project, we're going to be using our Diamond Fields putt-putt golf course. We'll have three different flights, so this is going to try to bring in everybody from every time zone. 1 to 3 New Britannia, 5 to 7, and then 8 to 10. So we'll basically be running around for 10 to 12 hours, kind of like a telethon almost. And so that should cover everybody on a weekend that could come and play the golf course. And here's the directions and stuff. And here's how everything works. Prizes, we're going to need a few volunteers. I'm still looking for that. And that's 2 to 3 for each one of those. That's about 8 to 9. They're paid. It's paid volunteers. You get 5 kodos. And you can see kind of how it works. Let's say we're starting out here. We got to go around and around and around and around, boom, to the end. And that's one hole. And each hole's themed differently. Each hole will have a different thing. It will have a description. It might have some hints and tips and stuff on the signposts. You can kind of see the signposts starting to go up. Right now they're very blank. We used to be able to use a rug at the end of it, and you would have to go into a certain area of the rug, but they changed the gust ball physics on me. I'm still very annoyed about this because now if you hit a gust ball, it just stops at the edge of this. So we'll probably have to remove the rugs, and I've already kind of gotten a secondary scoring method in place. I really think a ball should be able to roll over a rug. How hard is that? It used to do it, but that's not how it is now, and we won't get into my crying about that. I have a secondary option for scoring on that. So just getting around the course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 isn't necessarily your score. There's ways to reduce your score depending on where you enter the scoring zone. So we'll call it a scoring zone. It used to be a rug was the scoring zone. We'll have to change up the scoring zone for that. But anyway, that's kind of the way that we're going to end up the whole thing for the Trevor project and Prism's involvement in trying to support this. We are an LGBT friendly guild. That doesn't mean we're all gay. So if you see someone with a Prism tag, don't assume they're gay and call them a fag or something derogatory, if you're a hater, because, chances are 50-50. We're kind of 50-50 right now. So you probably might be telling your bro that he's a fag when he's not. So don't be what is it that WFRB says, or in Avatar's Rate, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. And yeah, I'm sorry if I offended any younger viewers with that, but really, seriously, don't. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who they are. So just because they wear a guild tag, don't assume they're one thing or another. And that's very much Prism. we're people of all walks of life. Married couples, single couples, people from Europe, people from US. Ha! So with that really long thing said, please give money to the Aerie Fund and the Trevor Project for June Gay Pride Month, even if you're not prideful, even if you're not gay. It really is to a good cause, not a heavy-handed, overly, I don't know, what do you call that? Overly rewarding to directors kind of charity. It's a real charity where the money actually does make a difference and stuff, and get some cool stuff. And come on, 250 folks, I want to see you 250 folks. I will drag my happy butt to you and help mentor you and your groups, whatever time, whatever place, whatever you want to do. Remember, it's 250 total, so if one person puts it in and the other 6, 7 of you give him the money on the side and you just put it in as one thing, you get me. So you don't have to do it separate. You guys can kind of group your stuff together as one thing and I'll be there to help mentor you. That's the best I could do. We do have some goals that weren't listed on the page, and one of our guild members, I believe, is at 20,000. Says she'll shave her head. Not only will she shave her head, her brother happens to live by me in Tampa, and Tampa, Florida, and she said she might fly down here and let me shave her head. But that's 20,000. The goal's only set at 15,000 because we know you guys are all broken stuff. But if you guys overcome that $15,000 home, I know we're only at 500 right now, but hey, you could get some live head shaving going on and stuff. And we did have one other guild member who's very tied up with work right now, who's also a developer. But she said she'd dye her hair the color of the cloak. We'll see if that happens. If she's able to play some more instead of developing, and I'm sure the guys at Portalarium understand what that means. She's very tied up right now. But that's the secondary goal. But the 20K goal that's not listed on the forums, shaved female head by a lesbian. She's going to allow me to use clippers on her. This is scary, folks, but that's going to take a lot of digging deep. So, anyway, take care, everybody. Happy hunting. Be safe. And, try to scrounge in your couch cushions and at least get that $25 cloak. It's a pretty spiffy looking cloak. We didn't make it pink or anything horrid like that. I think we designed a pretty nice looking one. So, take care. See ya. Bye.